Hi, good morning. So I am starting my VRA assignment. So to go straight into the prompts, the first one has to do with clear vision. So it reads, why is it important for a leader to have a clear vision? Reflect on how vision influences team motivation, direction, and decision making. So it's imperative to have a clear vision, right? When you have a clear vision set for yourself in anything that you do, it kind of provides a clear guidebook, if you will. So when you compare it to leadership or leaders, having a clear vision is essential for effective leadership. I mean, it provides purpose, it provides direction, it provides union, it provides a framework of whatever purpose that you have or want to have set for yourself, whatever goals or desired outcomes that you have. This is what a vision can provide to ensure that you're consistently moving towards whatever that deciding goal or outcome is, right? So when you think about communicating a strong vision, you have to understand that is what equates to some type of foundational role, right? So it provides those shared goals amongst a leader and their team members or team members. It has to do with the meanings and guidance and direction that is going to be put forth in order for you guys to achieve whatever it is that you've set out for yourself. So a vision can show a team what they're doing, of course, but also why they're doing it. Why does this matter? Why am I here? What and why is my contribution necessary? Why is it important? Why does it matter? And this is something that is really important to have a vision for, especially when you're a leader leading a team, because it's going to obviously boost motivation, but it's also going to provide a reason for your members to invest. It's a reason for your members to want to come together and to want to make collaborative efforts and to want to contribute to your goals. And it's a shared purpose too. So it's also motivating each other. It's increasing the chance of a team to invest and contribute. And it also attributes to that better and consistent decision making, especially during uncertain times. It could actually be that peace during those chaotic periods or eras that you may have during work. So it's an important thing to have. When you don't have any clear vision, it can be really, really problematic and really difficult for you guys to, one, work together, but two, achieve whatever goals that you guys have set for yourself. It's going to be really hard to do that if you don't have any guidance on what you should be doing, why you're doing it, who's doing it, how long it's going to take to get done. It just has like a lot of framework that you can reference and follow as needed. It's not necessarily a play-by-play book, but it's definitely an overall picture of why something is going to go, how it's going to operate. And that's important. So leading into my second prompt, it has to do with I chose a historic leader. So it reads, think of a leader you admire. This could be personal, professional, or historical. I would be choosing historical. What is their vision and how did it shape the way they led and inspired others? So I chose Dorothy Height. And if you're unfamiliar, she was a pioneering civil rights and women's rights activist. She was a admirable and fantastic Black woman. She, through all of her achievements, she became the president of the National Council of Negro Women. She's received a medal for all of her achievements. And her vision was centered on racial and gender equity. She wanted to advocate for this achievement, and she did so through education. She did it through empowerment. She did it through even political involvement during this time. And she did it, of course, through community. And throughout her leadership, it spanned for quite some time. I think it spanned definitely for over 5 years. I want to say about 6, 7 years. And it it made a very long lasting and meaningful impact on the civil rights movement and women's advocacy. She wanted to bridge the relationships and equality through women of all races. And it was just really cool how she combined those things. She took women's oppression, she took racial oppression, the oppression of Black people, and she combined them in a way that was unique. It was organic, and it was a way that she could use her vision to do so much good, and she did. And I think she was just a great woman. I think she did a lot of stuff, a lot of achievements, and she should be admired for all that she's done and all that she has framed for newer leaders to pick up and keep doing that, continue her legacy and her work. And that kind of leads into the third prompt, and that has to do with a leader with no vision. So it reads, have you ever been a part of a group where the leader had no clear vision? Describe the experience and how it affected the group's cohesion, goals, or performance. So yeah, I have had a leader at a previous job, and to me, he lacked all vision. And just to give him a little bit of grace, he was abruptly promoted into a managing position, and that meant he had to take on a lot of new things at one time. So new tasks, new responsibilities, new duties. On top of that, he had to manage a whole team of people, and I'm sure it was very hard for him, but it was also very difficult for us as, you know, his team members, because the culture of the work environment we had, to me, just felt completely destroyed. It was very difficult to work with him because when he was so busy, you barely seen him. I remember there would be times that when I would finally get to catch him, and I got to handle whatever it was that I needed to handle with him. I remember him telling me, okay, like, he's gonna go hide now somewhere in the building so he can kind of just do his work. And it's not necessarily that he was trying to neglect, intentionally at least, what it was that was needed of him, but I think it was that he was just so consumed with so much stuff that I think he was trying to do the best that he could with what he could. But because he just came into this so abruptly and he didn't come into it with any vision or framework, it was very difficult for him to be a leader to us. We didn't really have, before with the previous leader, we would always have employee meetings and all these things where we could voice concerns, we could talk about what's going on. If I needed to pull him to the side a little bit and have any particular conversation regarding a particular patient, we were able to do that. But with him, that was, we barely had them. And when we did have them, it was kind of just him telling us the new updates of what's going on with the building, because there was a lot of new work and changes, shifting that was going on. So it wasn't even necessarily a place where we could come together and discuss what's been going on, how we've been doing with our performance, how we can improve our performance, how we have been feeling as employees with all these things. It was really just like, okay, just to let you guys know, the left wing of the building will be shut down for this amount of time due to reconstruction. And that was essentially what it was. And it was just really difficult to work in that environment. And eventually that's when people actually started to quit. All of these new changes with no vision, no guidance, no framework, no understanding of what's going on and why I should even stay here. Like, what's going on, what's happening, why does it matter, what do I like, am I even contributing? I think it just hit to a point where employees definitely felt like there was nothing left here anymore. Because of all the things that were going on, they feel like they weren't being supported, and it just left them with, honestly, fear and just the idea that this is no longer a place that I can work. I probably have to move on. So it was kind of upsetting. So yeah, and it just goes to show the performance went down. we were doing pretty well in certain things, and then as time continued on, we started kind of just doing bad, and it was unfortunate, but yeah. And finally, with my last prompt, it reads, it has to do with the team vision, or like my personal team vision as a leader. So if I was a leader leading a team today, what would my leadership vision be? And describe the values and outcomes you prioritize and how you communicate that vision to your team. So I think if I were to lead a team, I would probably lead it with some core values. So what I think is definitely growth, collaboration, transparency, of course, always transparency, trust, integrity. I think those are very critical core values that you should be bringing to your team, honestly, anywhere, at any time. I think it should always be there. I think without it, I don't even know what you would have, you know? I think it's for sure, especially with everything that's going on. You know, I think it would be a priority of mine. It would be something that I would really want to fight for, to create an environment or a work culture that operates or functions to provide my team, my members, with support, with empowerment, with motivation. I want them to feel valued. I want them to feel prioritized. I don't want them to think that they're going unsupported, that they can't come to me about something, that they can't voice their opinions, that they can't give me maybe even ideas. I want them to feel like they are on a team, that we are a team and that team works together. Teamwork makes the dream work, you know? I want them to live by that because it's important, and it's real. It's true. That is when you're going to see these significant progresses in your team, because it's a team that actually works together to do what they have to do, to get the job done. And it's important. I want them to feel that they're valued and prioritized, and I would definitely do this, of course, through mutual respect, of course, and ongoing learning programs and trainings. I would do it through communication. All these things would be incorporated and implemented to ensure that my team members are living out to their fullest potential at the job. I would encourage consistent discussions, consistent team meetings where we can have these talks, have these concerns or questions voiced, and they could be answered without any problems, without passive aggression, without dodging the question. I want to be completely transparent and honest with my team members. I want them to know what's going on at all times. I want them to know how it will affect us and what we will be doing moving forward. I don't want to just tell them something and that's it. I don't want to just be like, oh, well, this is what's going to happen and that's it. No, I want them to understand that this is what's going to happen. This is how we're going to work with it. If you guys have any ideas that you think would be useful and helpful and meaningful, of course you can talk to me about them. Lay it out on the table. Let's brainstorm together. I do want that to be something that is a normal thing within the job, within the work culture. I don't want them to ever think that this is authoritative and I'm just telling them what to do. Don't ask me any questions. I don't care. I'm not taking them. It's my way or the highway. I don't ever want it to be like that, because it's not motivating. It's not supportive. It's not going to get the work done. It's not going to get the work done. I'm probably going to have employee turnover rates crazy. It's not going to be cool. It's not going to be fun. And I'm not even going to have people that want to work, that want to contribute meaningful ways, impactful ways. They're not going to want to give off quality work because they're not feeling respected, they're not feeling heard, they're not feeling supported, and that's terrible. So I would lead by example. I would be clear on my goals, my responsibilities, my expectations. I don't want anything to go unsaid. I don't want anything to be unknown. I want everybody to know what's going on, why it's happening, why it matters. I do want them all to know that. So I would encourage those consistent discussions. I would encourage fostering trust and clarity and feedback with everybody, including myself. You guys can, of course, give me feedback, give me suggestions. You could tell me essentially anything, and I want to have an open ear and an open heart and an open mind to be able to take this in, digest it, and see what we could do with it, you know? So yeah, I would just try to do those things to ensure that we have a clear vision, we have a clear goal, we have a shared purpose, and that we're all able to contribute to that. And we can all hit our shared and desired outcomes together. And we can celebrate that together because we're a team. So, yes, thank you so much. Bye.